Contacted by a tool company called Tilswall. They have quite a selection of tools on their website saying, did I fancy having something to do an unboxing and review of? And I thought, well, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say no, really. I had a look and actually selected this thing. This was actually only a couple of days ago, so it came really quickly and it came via the normal post. So if we open that up, there you go, Tilswall actually. So this is their rotary tool. Now I actually quite like rotary tools. I think they're a really useful tool. Their big brother is this thing, the angle grinder. And of course the super daddy of that is the massive angle grinder. That thing I use a lot. Sometimes though it can be just that little bit brutal if you're working on smaller items, and for those smaller items I do in fact have a Dremel. So I use a Dremel for all those smaller items. But it did occur to me that a Dremel's relatively expensive. And it might be interesting to see what a more competitive or not quite as expensive multi-tool would be like, how it would compare, what kind of job it would do, and what was in the kit. So I asked for a multi-tool, and then a couple of days later they sent me this multi-tool, and we're just taking it out of the box now. So first things first, there it is. That's quite cute actually. Quite often when you get the Dremel basic kit, you actually just get the Dremel in a plastic case. I've done that a couple of times and I find myself knocking them about and losing them, so of course my Dremel has this canvas case that it came in, and I found that tremendously useful, oddly enough. You know what it's like, you put something down, you can never find it again, or at least it takes you a couple of hours of searching, and of course these multi-tools have quite small parts, so the searching for them can be quite a problem. And I found a case to be really, really useful. So this little Tilswall comes in a nice little case, certainly, and I'm expecting there to be some interesting bits and pieces in there. Sure enough, we've got our little cassette box there. It looks like some cutters in there. We'll get those out in a minute. I can see the collet chucks. We've got little drum sanders there, some brushes, some pads there for polishing. So that's nicely in there. A whole load of spare cutting discs, a whole load of spare sanding discs, and mysteriously enough, some extremely tiny batteries. No idea what they're for. If we open this bit up, then presumably we will see the rest of the kit. And there it is. So here is our rotary tool instruction book. It is 160 watts, so that's kind of cool actually. There's the rotary tool itself. And it isn't actually that much different from a Dremel. We've got the little screw-off head there for attaching the flexible arm, little lock there, speed control here at the bottom, and on-off switch there. So it's okay. It doesn't seem that much different to these rotary tools often are. This actually, I did look at this, and I did like this particular bit. This bit is a handle that you can put on there. Unscrew this, handle goes on, and you can hold the tool like that. That actually I thought was neat. It's actually one of the things that I thought was neat more than the Dremel, because the Dremel you hold like that, okay, and it's not that difficult, but when you want that ultra fine control, to be honest, having that little handle I just thought was a really neat idea. So when I spotted that, I thought that was kind of cool. So that's a handle that goes on it. But that clearly is just something to poke yourself with. We're gonna have to find out what that's about, because I've got no idea. There we go. That looks like some kind of router attachment that they've got there. This is sort of cool actually. Comes with the flexible arm. So the basic Dremels don't come with this. You have to either buy the higher Dremel kits or buy this by itself, and that's the flexible attachment. So that's kind of cool. I like that. Another little piece there, and what looks like a guard here. That looks like a cutting guard. If we take that out, we can have a see. And sure enough, it's a cutting guard. Okay, I'm going to open this up a little bit more and lay that out so we can have a closer look at it. I've laid out a few of the bits. I mean, I don't intend on going through all of these bits because we'll be out here for ages. But there's the usual sort of stuff you'd expect to find. A spare collet chuck there, some spare collets in there, a little range of tools here, drill bits, grinders, milling bits, all that sort of stuff. So nothing you wouldn't expect to find, and they're really kind of cool to have them there. You'd want those there. This is a nice big old bag of these sanding discs and cutting discs, because of course you go through those like a hot knife through butter. Just want to show you a bit more closely. This thing is a flexible drive, and then of course we have our cutting guides and our cutting shields. But the real things I like about this actually is I love this idea. This idea of the attachable handle I think is really neat actually. I like that, and I'm looking forward to giving that a go. The other thing that I really like is if you have a look on here, there you go. That's the brush cover, a little slot in it, and so you can clearly take that out. Here's the Dremel, and you note that the brush cover is actually sealed. So in this one, you can't get to the brushes. Now, I had one of these for about 3 weeks, and it just burnt out. I had to take it back because it's still under warranty, but there was no way I could replace those brushes on this without taking the whole thing to pieces and probably desoldering a whole lot in it as well. So that was a real pain. So I really do like what they've done here with this. I think that's very neat actually, and quite cool. So that and the little handle that they've done, to my mind, is setting them apart. Kind of job is fairly typical of what I'll do with something like this. As I say, cutting off nuts and bolts, cutting the old slots, grinding, that kind of thing is what I would typically do. And to sum up really, I loved this handle. I mean, I was quite surprised actually about the stability I was able to get over that, and a lot more control over it as well. So it certainly sets this machine apart. I love the handle, I thought it was great. Clearly the bits are universal. I mean, you know, a Dremel bit, this Tilswall bit, they'll all fit in the same chuck, so they're pretty universal. This I quite like. I like the fact that this could be repaired if you want it to be repaired, and the price isn't half bad as either actually. So I'll put a link in the description to have a look at this site and where this tool came from and some of the other tools that you've got. Now, as you know, we run a Twitch, and we've been having a discussion on the Twitch actually about their solder station as well. So they didn't send me the solder station, but I have heard good reports of the solder station, and I can give a good report on this. I think it compares favourably with the Dremel, with a couple of little USPs there that actually add to it for me, and certainly add a better
So
price.
overall,
Anyway,
you certainly get a lot of kit for your money. Absolutely love this handle. Action was really nice, and it compares favourably to the Dremel, I think. The bag that it came in is also something that I thought was a real plus point. So nice tool, certainly. I'll put that link in the description. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe.